Many of you may or may not know, I have been talking about storytelling in AEW now for months. And some of the most traction I've seen on Instagram, on my Instagram account, which is right over here, you should follow it, is when I put up a reel talking about the storytelling in AEW. I get a multitude of comments, most of them negative, telling me that I'm an idiot, that there's no storytelling, or if there's storytelling, it's bad storytelling. It sucks. It's not good. It doesn't exist. It could be better. It's this other place does it better. It was better back in 2019. It was better over here, over there. It would never existed. I've heard it all. I've literally heard fucking every take possible on the storytelling on AEW. So what I want to do in this video is I want to rank each wrestler by their story. We're going to have the top, the S tier stories in AEW, and we're going to have the ones that aren't so good. Now, I'm wondering if I should change around these tiers and maybe customize them out a little bit to help us along. Maybe we could do it as we go. I don't really know. The S tier story. What's the definitive S tier story in AEW? What's the one that we're going to rank everything else by? Hangman story. I hear the Hangman story good. We're all hung up on the Hangman story. Whenever I hear anyone talk about AEW storytelling, everybody goes, the Hangman storyline from when AEW started until Hangman became champion has been touted out as the finest storytelling in all of AEW. I'm not sure if that actually is the case at this point, if that is the best storyline, but the New Elite, I think the New Elite is up there. I'm actually working on a huge video right now about the New Elite and that whole storyline. I think it's going to rival the Hangman storyline or surpass it, but let's just call the S tier the Hangman tier. That's reserved for Hangman. I don't know if Hangman's going to go in there, but that's definitely something I've heard so many times. It's hard to ignore that people do think that that is the finest storytelling that AEW will ever hit. MJF versus Punk. MJF versus Punk is definitely one of the best storylines that AEW's ever run. MJF and Adam Cole would be up there if the Devil storyline didn't exist. Look, I think the Devil storyline was just fine. I don't think that disqualifies it from hitting S tier, but I understand the Devil reveal. That's going to factor into it. So A tier is where we're going to put, all right, D tier is easy. The D tier is going to be wrestlers who literally have no story. And I'm curious how much of the roster literally has no story. Because I hear people say that all the time. AEW has no storytelling. There's no storytelling in AEW. How many wrestlers are going to hit this D tier? I don't know. What's above no story? If you have just like a good character, is C tier just like a good character? I feel maybe that's where we're at. Good character. Maybe that's what C tier. Anybody who hangs out in C tier, you have a good character. You don't have a good story. You don't have anything going on with anybody, but you're a solid character. You are C tier. I think it's easier to work from the bottom to the top. I'm going to put up here not just Hangman, because that's like Hangman's S tier. No, it's the Hangman arc. The Hangman arc is the S tier story. It is the gold standard of AEW storytelling. So we have good character. We have no story. B tier is like, what are we going to call people who are in the B tier? What is the definition of that? We got no story. We got good character. We have, you got a feud. There's a lot of feuds in AEW, right? This guy hates that guy or whatever. I think that's the lowest rung of, that's like, if you have a story, this is the lowest hanging fruit of storytelling. Don't like this guy for no particular reason. Feud with no reason. I don't like you. I feel like we need to qualify the qualifier on that. Like just feud, stupid feud. I feel like there should be like a word in there, like feud with no reason, feud with no point, pointless feud. Pointless feud? It's like B. I don't know. I don't want to be mean. I'm not the mean guy. I don't like your face. Exactly, Hollow Lord. Exactly, chat. Chat's got the terminology here. I don't like your face, basically, is B tier. Just feud. Petty feud. All right, I like petty. Petty feud. B tier is the tier of the petty feud. A very minor, not a lot of story going on. Petty feud. So then in between the petty feud and something epic like the Hangman arc, we have maybe just decent, solid story. Hey, it's not the Hangman arc. It's above a petty feud. It's a solid story. All right. I believe with these tiers, we can adequately rank all of the wrestlers in AEW wrestling today. I believe we can work this out. All right. The first wrestler we're going to look at is we're going to look at Adam Solo. Is that his name? Aaron Solo. Jesus, Adam Solo? What the fuck? I was talking about Hangman Adam Page. And then my brain said Aaron Solo, who I think is fucking great. I think Aaron Solo is great. I think he's underrated. I think that eventually at some point he's going to break out. He's over on Ring of Honor right now. He's got a bit of a repackage. Is he no story? He's been involved in shit. He almost had a story. I feel like, should we have another tier here? Almost had a story. I don't want to be that mean to Aaron Solo. But I don't know. I think if he was sitting here on this couch, he might have to agree. I really got no story going on right now, man. I really got nothing happening. And I think that we have to say that all of the wrestlers we're going to rank is like story as of, let's say within recent history. I don't want to say just within 2024 or anything. But I don't want to be like, oh, he had a story back in 2019, so it counts. I don't want to go that far back. I really don't want to go that far back. I feel like that's reaching too much. I don't want to make shit up, basically. 2023 onwards, somewhere around there, unless it was something really good. Some people are just goated from shit they did. It was so goddamn memorable, you'll never forget it. All right, Abaddon, definitely a good character. Do we have even a petty feud? I don't even think we have a petty feud. We just have a really good character. C tier, Action Andretti. I would have said no story, but Homeboy's been putting in the work. He's been hydrating. I think Action Andretti's a good character. I think we can even take him up to petty feud. Maybe almost with Private Party. Top Flight's got this petty feud going on with Private Party, except Action Andretti's really maybe not part of Top Flight. I don't know. He doesn't seem to be the one that has the problem. He doesn't seem to actually have a feud with anybody. So I'm going to give him good character for the hydration. I like the hydration angle. I like his demeanor. I think he's got, I don't want to put him down in no story. He's approaching petty feud. All right. Adam Cole. Shit. And for Adam Cole, we're going to be talking about him and MJF, which is going to float somewhere between an A rank and an S tier. It's hard to forget I don't want to call it a botched ending to the Devil storyline. It went on too long. It got weird. There were injuries. I think that we're going to have to, at the end of the day, that was so fucking good. Guys, you got to remember how that fucking thing started, though. Are we literally going to call the MJF Adam Cole storyline, which, think about it up to All In. Dude, up to All In, I don't think we should discredit MJF and Adam Cole because they put Coda on a fucking Hangman arc level story. I don't think we should discredit it down to A just because it went on after All In at Wembley and fucked around for a few pay-per-views. Fine. But everything before All In at Wembley and the match at All In at Wembley, that shit's the best shit that AEW's ever done. The lead up to and payoff of Wembley at All In is some of the best storytelling that AEW has ever done, and Adam Cole was the main fucking event. So we got to give him S tier, guys. I know that afterwards shit got weird and veered off, but I don't think that means we shit on what was like 2 months of solid storytelling work before that. I don't think that that's appropriate at all. Adam Copeland. And Christian Cage, I believe that is the only arc. And now he has a secondary arc with Malachi Black. God damn, he does great. Both of these are just fucking bangers. Solid. Don't think there's been enough time for either storyline to hit S tier. I think Adam Copeland and AEW has defined the A tier. These are A tier solid stories that are highly enjoyable and have had great payoffs. Adam Copeland has been kicking ass. A lot of people have been talking shit about Adam Copeland and AEW, saying he's underutilized. A lot of people would put him down in D tier or what. I think that's fucking insane. That's totally disingenuous and shows you haven't been watching shit. My chat is saying that I'm robbing Adam Copeland. I should have him up in S tier, but I don't know, guys. I think it's A tier. You even have the end of the Christian Cage thing played out on TV. One of the best TV matches of all year, easily. But still, it played out on TV. It didn't pay off in a pay-per-view. It didn't really get as much time as the other stuff. I think it could have been S tier. It was a few beats short. Hangman Adam Page. Now, obviously, we could put him in the Hangman arc. We could give him credit for that. It's years old. But I think Hangman stays in the Hangman arc because of the goddamn feud that he had with Swerve Strickland, which was not a petty feud, was not a solid story. It was top tier main event. It stole the fucking show. When Adam Cole and MJF were floundering, Hangman and Swerve were rising to the top. They absolutely saved the pay-per-view that they were on. They overshot everybody else. The feud between Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland was fucking chef's kiss and a wonderful story that's still being referenced on TV today. We're still referencing Swerve breaking into Hangman's house. We're not forgetting it. Hangman is often being still cited as someone that people want to see come back, which is crazy. Everybody wanted Hangman gone after the actual Hangman arc that everybody loves so much. They wanted Hangman fucking gone. They didn't want him to be the champion. And that's all been reversed. All that bad karma that he built up with that for whatever reason, people decided that he wasn't a good champion. I think he was fine. Has been reversed now after his feud with Swerve. So absolutely S tier. Most improved, perhaps. Hangman really crushed it. Dark Order, Alex Reynolds, shit, man. Dark Order, what have you done for me recently? The Dark Order are such near misses. They've had a lot of petty feuds. The Dark Order almost exist exclusively in the petty feud area. Right now, they're not doing shit. It's tempting to put Dark Order down in no story, but they have so much story. I just don't think any of it is that solid. They could come back at any moment and have a petty feud with anybody. They have enough history in AEW that at any moment you can bring the Dark Order out and be like, I got beef with you because of this and this that happened a couple of years ago. They've done so much in AEW, it's easy for them. I think the Dark Order owns that B tier, finds that B tier. Holy shit. And Helico and Serpentico have been in what is actually in more than a petty feud right now with Maria Kanellis and her boys, Griff Garrison and the other one. I can't remember the other guy. He's going to be in this roster. Somebody's got to help me out. Who is the other guy? But it's happening on Ring of Honor. And it's a solid story. It's going on too long. Is it a petty feud, though, or is it a solid story? It might be more of a petty feud. Honestly, the whole story is that Maria Kanellis and her boys stole Angelico's mask. And Helico and Serpentico have been fighting them for multiple pay-per-views to get back the mask. So, I don't know, man. I'm going to say it's like a petty feud. It should be a solid story, but it just has not developed past that. So we're going to put him in B. We're going to put Angelico in B. Oh, shit. We got Cool Hand Luke. No, Cool Hand Angelo Parker. Sorry. Cool Hand Angelo Parker. Cool Hand Luke is the reference, but the actual wrestler is Cool Hand Angelo Parker. I got to say solid story. I got to say that's underrated. That is severely underrated what went on with him. That was actually cool as fuck, man. That did not get anywhere near enough credit between him and Ruby and him and Saraya. There was a lot of development in that story. Anyone saying that was just a petty feud, absolutely fucking not. Ruby Soho committed so hard to that storyline, she got legit pregnant. And for that, it's A tier all the way. All the fucking way. If you get legit pregnant as part of a wrestling storyline, you've earned your A tier. Anna Jay, part of the Dark Order at one point. That gets her a pass. She's into the B tier. She has the petty feud. And I think that's where she might stay. She has a lot of petty feuds. She has constant petty feuds. She's more than a good character. I think that the B tier defines wrestlers who have good characters, who have entered into feuds multiple times. And I think that's where Anna Jay is. The Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens. They've been in so many good stories. I don't think anyone thought that the Acclaimed Bullet Club Gold saga was an S tier story. I will say it's solid. I will say anyone that was just calling that a petty feud, you got Daddy Ass involved. When you have Daddy Ass and the Ass Boys involved in your storyline, you have father versus son. This is more than a petty feud. There's a lot going on there. It's a nuanced story that's been told over multiple years. I think that the Acclaimed are fascinating. I think they're interesting wrestlers. I think the stories they tell are very good. I think that they belong in that A tier. I think they've done the work. Anthony Ogogo, holy shit, Anthony Ogogo is back. And I like his character. I definitely like Anthony Ogogo's character. He does not seem to have any feuds going on at this time. It's very, very new. I'm going to put him down in C tier, but I don't want you to take that as any kind of insult towards Anthony Ogogo. It's just simply too soon for him to have anything going on. I think he's literally had 2 matches. I think he just had his first singles match on Ring of Honor, of all places. So, got to give him time. AR Fox was headed up to S tier, and then some shit went down with his visa, and things got weird. AR Fox and Killshot date back to Lucha Underground. Now, that shit was S tier. That shit was like Hollywood, amazing storytelling, good stuff. And that's what they were referencing. So, it's hard for me to want to put AR Fox down in petty feud, knowing the history of that story between him and Swerve Strickland. However, since then, things have been lost. I like the double turn that he did. I think it's more than a petty feud. AR Fox is gone. He's been eradicated. He hasn't been around. I think that he had some momentum. He had a push going on, but things got fucked up. It wasn't that long ago when AR Fox had more than a petty feud. He had a solid story. I'm going to put him there. He's definitely not there now. Right now, he's down to D tier. If I'm going to go by what's going on exactly at this minute, I would have to bring it down to D tier. That's where I would have to go. I am loving my chat right now. Shout out to my chat for appreciating that this is a positive AEW stream. That's what we're trying to do here, guys. Thank you for acknowledging me. We're here every week at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Wednesday before Dynamite, being positive about AEW. And this work needs to be done, guys. We got to tell people. AEW has stories. AEW has very good stories. Yes, there are some characters with no story. Yes, there are some members of the roster who have absolutely no story going on. But I don't know. I don't think it's the bulk of the roster, but this is a good one. We got Ari Daivari. This is no story, right? There's no story. They're trying. They keep trying, but there's nothing here. I'm sorry, Ari Daivari. I think a lot of the guys that do a lot of shit backstage just end up giving themselves nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with Ari Daivari. I think he's great. I just think that he's focused on producing matches and not giving himself a storyline. He has a day job there at AEW, and he does that well, and maybe storyline not so much. I was hyped for AR Fox and Swerve too when that started up. That was awesome. All right, Athena. I'm really torn on Athena. It might not be my cup of tea. It's definitely had the time. The Athena storyline is the defining storyline of Ring of Honor. It is the story in Ring of Honor. It's earned A tier already. It automatic pass for A tier. Does it get S tier? By virtue, I got Billy Starks over. God damn it, man. Athena got Billy Starks over. That's pretty fucking good. That's a pretty goddamn good story if you can get new talent over with your story. Athena literally doing better than Jericho with her story. You just got to give it up for that. I don't know, man. So it's like I want it in between A and S right now. Chad is saying S tier. It's making me sneeze. I got to think about it. It's got me all fucked up. Main event at a pay-per-view. I hope AR Fox comes back to challenge Swerve as well. That's a great idea. All right, damn it. Athena. See, I don't want to be too nice, but maybe I should just be too nice. Maybe I don't have to be a dick. Does everybody have to be a dick about AEW, or can some of us be nice? Is that possible? The wrestling journalist in me wants to be unbiased and be like, well, this had some flaws. Here's the thing. All right, I'm going to go on enjoyment. Maybe it takes it down a notch as well because it was only on Ring of Honor. Does that hurt it? Or is that a downgrade? If you've got a shit ton of story, but it all happens on Ring of Honor, does that fuck you up? Does that take you down a peg? I don't know. I'm asking these questions. I don't know the answers. I think she's A tier because I would rewatch Adam Cole and MJF segments. I would rewatch the matches between Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. I have a problem rewatching Athena stuff. I appreciate that it happened. I think it's fucking awesome that it got Billy Starks over. I think that it is the defining story of Ring of Honor, which desperately needs that. But would I rewatch it? No, and I don't think a lot of people would if you're being honest. That brings us over to, we got Austin Gunn or Colt. I think that's Austin Gunn. Austin Gunn. I'm tempted to put him up into it's solid story. These guys are actually the fucking Guns are incredibly underrated. When people go on about the fucking AEW's got no story, you're likely forgetting the fucking Guns exist. The Guns literally exist, guys, and their stories are fucking great. Everything the Guns have ever done it's annoying how good the Guns are. I get it. It's fucking annoying. I feel it's very fitting that the Guns wear gear that is inspired by Shawn Michaels, because we are going to look at the Guns like we did with Shawn Michaels in retrospect. In retrospect, maybe at the time, Shawn Michaels was bugging the fuck out of you, but when you look back historically, you realize he was doing phenomenal work. He was absolutely goated. And that's what the fucking Guns are headed for. They are old school wrestlers. They do old school storylines, and they are fucking phenomenal. Solid stories. Who the fuck? Oh, Bandito. He's not even around. I don't even feel like I should put him on the tier list, but like, I gotta say, Bandito's got no story. He's got no storyline. Nothing's going on. But look, he's just not around very much. All right, Big Bill. How does Big Bill somehow get an A tier and a D tier at the same time? I don't know how the fuck one wrestler can literally have solid storylines while at the same time literally having no story. I don't know how the fuck he does it. It's kind of marvelous, actually. Big Bill's real life story is actually really fucking good, but I don't really feel like it's hit TV a lot. They haven't really used it. The IRL Big Bill story is really fucking good, where he was like down on his luck, down and out, absolutely in the gutter, and he pulled himself back up to be back in main event wrestling, back in the main event mainstream wrestling scene. That's fucking incredible. I want to put him in no story. Look, right now, he just started up with Chris Jericho. But what's the story? What's the story with Chris Jericho? He comes out, Chris Jericho, I see what you're doing. You're setting up a stable. You need Big Bill in it. Why does he need Big Bill? I need to be in this. What the fuck does that mean? I'm sorry. Big Bill has no goddamn story. I can't make shit up for you. I wish I could. Big Bill's actual story, Hangman arc. His AEW story, no story, unfortunately. No fucking story. It's going to happen. Look, tomorrow, we might have to come back to this every week and adjust it on stream. We might just have to come back to this list every week and adjust people in real time. I would be happy to do that. It might be a really fun thing we can do. Make sure you come check out the stream every Wednesday. I want to elevate Big Bill up. But right now, no story. Billy Gunn. God damn, man. Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn. For everything that he's done in AEW, solid stories. Him retiring, that made a whole goddamn arena cry. Him coming back made everybody happy. Everything he's been doing has been phenomenal. He had that one match with Jay White, which I guess you could call was kind of a story. Look, fucking Billy Gunn and Jay White, that's like a bad story, but he's more than a petty feud. He's always got the thing going on with his kids. That's going to carry him. He's definitely in solid story. I think the lightweight shit he does in between the really good story bits that he does, that's what keeps him out of that S tier. But he's definitely in that A tier. All right, we got what the fuck are these guys called? All right, these guys, they're the Mogul Embassy, right? The Embassy, I can't remember their fucking names. Are they even good? Do they got no story? Is it so bad? The hardcore AEW fanboy, the biggest AEW fanboy on YouTube, doesn't know his fucking name? How little of a story do you have, my man? Great workers. Phenomenal fucking matches. But story? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I got to go no story for these guys. The Embassy, no story for the Embassy. Chat's got jokes, man. Jericho trying to teach Big Bill, but he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. When the fuck are they just going to bring Enzo in? They're going to do it, right? A lot of people don't want them to do it, but they're going to do it. Brandon Cutler has not been around for a while. Now, you might not know it, but Brandon Cutler did work on a new character with Colt Cabana. They're doing these Tiger Boys kind of gimmick. They've been having a good time. They don't have any feuds, but I got to give Brian Cutler a good character. And not just because he did an interview on this channel. Not just because of that. It helps, but not because of that. I think Brandon Cutler has always been a good character. If you go way back, he did have a pretty good feud. So you could move him up to petty feud, but that was a very long time ago. Brian Cage, I love the angle with Swerve Strickland that he's working. I feel like he's getting the most out of that. The Embassy really isn't the main player in that. It's Brian Cage that is the main player in that. But is it a petty feud? Hey, Swerve, we were in the stable together and you never really did anything for us. Really feels like petty feud territory. It's a solid petty feud, but I think that it's not you can't say Brian Cage has a solid story. Everything fucking Team Taz did was a petty feud. There was no story there more than, hey, we're Team Taz and we don't like your fucking face. We're going to hit it with the trash can, was most of Team Taz. So I don't think a lot of us missed that. But Brian Cage B tier. Oh shit, Brian Keith. I love Brian Keith. Brian Keith's a good character. They keep putting over on commentary his Black Halo, like, powers. We haven't seen them. I believe that Brian Keith channels some kind of undead cowboy shit. Can anyone in my chat confirm that Brian Keith has undead cowboy shit powers? Can anyone confirm or deny that? It is my suspicion that Brian Keith has undead cowboy shit powers. So if that's the case, he's a good character. He's had no feuds, but, and I would say no story, except I have reason to believe that Brian Keith does in fact have undead cowboy shit powers. And that instantly pulls him up into good character ranking for me. Britt Baker's work with Jamie Hayter is phenomenal, and I don't believe that ever really truly came to a head. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Britt Baker occupies the solid story area. She hasn't done anything truly epic of the caliber of Adam Cole and Adam Page. Close. I can put her up there. We can elevate her on the row. We can move her more over towards the left if that helps anybody. But I think that she's an A tier, solid story character. She always has a story. It's always solid. Britt Baker, workhorse in the story department. Oh, the Brian Keith Hangman Adam Page tag team needs to happen. Brody King. Man, it feels like all the story in the House of Black has been eaten up by Malachi Black and Julia Hart. Brody King is the guy that stands behind Malachi Black or Julia Hart. Brody King is a wrestler, fucking S tier, guys. Story in AEW, if we're being honest, he has a petty feud with, does he really have a petty feud with Darby Allin? Is he really a good character? Is he actually no story at all? Is he just a big scary dude with tattoos? Not saying that I don't enjoy that immensely. I think big scary dude with tattoos is a valid character in wrestling. Is it a good character? Does he have any feuds? I don't know, man. I think, unfortunately, Brody King's got to go down in the no story category. Brother barely fucking talks. Like I said, he stands behind Malachi Black. He stands behind Julia Hart. He has yet to really take the forefront. Kind of had a petty feud with Daniel Garcia, but like, did he? I don't know, man. He seems to get pissed off at somebody randomly every week. No story. He feels really random. I feel like they bring out Brody King whenever they just want a big guy, which is fine. I think he's great. He's phenomenal. But story-wise, fuck. He's got to go down to D. Closest Brody King got to a story was in the Continental Classic tournament. Absolutely. But that was more the tournament having the story and less about Brody King himself. Bryan Danielson. Look, it's automatic A tier. Any of the wrestlers who have the moniker of best wrestler in the world, automatically that's an amazing story. Very few wrestlers are in the conversation for being the best in the world. Therefore, the baked-in story where those guys fight each other to try to prove who is the best in the world, that's a great fucking story. I am sick and tired of hearing people discredit the best in the world story because it's a fucking real story. Who is the best wrestler? That might seem like there's no story, but wait, that's actually a serious fucking discussion. And there's only really one way to get to the bottom of it, and that's to put the two motherfuckers in the ring who have that designation. So I think that's a solid story. I think it's a very solid story. Not only is he a great wrestler, he's a great storyteller. He's done so many solid stories in AEW since he's come. Has he done anything approaching real in-depth storytelling with like vignettes and intrigue and shit? No, he hasn't really done any of that. But he has played out who is the best wrestler in the world story to the fucking hilt since he's coming to AEW. And believe it or not, guys, that's a story, and it's interesting as fuck. Buddy Matthews. God, I think if it's possible to actually have less story than Brody King, it would be Buddy Matthews. I'm sorry, he's got no story. They stand behind Malachi Black. Abel is allowing them to have no real story. I feel like all the individual members of the Acclaimed have little stories to them. Whereas the individual members of House of Black who aren't named Malachi Black and Julia Hart just are there for the ride, which there's nothing wrong with. They do a great fucking job, but storytelling-wise, there's not much to go on. Cash, FTR hair. You have FTR bald and FTR hair. Cash Wheeler, a lot of petty feuds. The work they did with the Briscoes was so good, but at the end of the day, it was kind of a petty feud. I don't know. They're in the best of the world. All right. It's elevated. Everything I just said about Bryan Danielson is the same about FTR. They're in that best of the world. I feel it less. Like, I don't feel like people actually are talking about FTR as much as they talk about Bryan Danielson when they talk about the best wrestlers in the world. But I'm going to give that to him. I'm going to put Dax right next to him there. I feel like Dax is a little, he talks more than Cash. And he's always talking about his baby girl and shit like that. And I feel like that gives him, he has like more character story. But then you remember that Cash literally pulled a handgun on a cop. And that's pretty interesting. So let's keep him in A tier. Chris fucking Jericho. Oh, God. Chris Jericho can literally not stop telling stories in AEW. A lot of people wish he would stop telling these stories in AEW. I think that Chris Jericho is great. I think some of the things he's done have been some of the greatest things in AEW history. I feel like he's inserted himself into the best wrestler in the world storyline, and maybe he doesn't quite belong in there. I feel like he butts into that storyline sometimes. He butts into a lot of storylines. I'm going to put Chris Jericho in the A tier, but I'm really hesitant to move him up to S tier. I feel like Chris Jericho does a lot of cool shit, throws a lot of things at the wall, and I think that just lowers his range. If Chris Jericho was like a sniper and every time he got up to plate, he hit a home run, then I would put him up in S tier. But I think a lot of what Chris Jericho does is just throw shit against the wall and sees what sticks. And a lot of shit don't stick. So that's what keeps him down to A tier in my opinion. Christian Cage, Father of the Year, S fucking tier, maybe the best character in all of AEW. And we all love it whenever Christian Cage does anything now. Most fucking improved. He came in with like no fucking story and no character and went directly to S tier. He did not pass go. Fucking amazing work. Christian Cage. No one was ever talking about Christian Cage being one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And now he is in that discussion for the shit that he's doing in AEW. Christian Cage literally makes it worth it to have an AEW. If I was ever going to argue if AEW should or should not exist, all I would simply have to do is tell you that Christian Cage existed in AEW and that's where he did his best work, and you would have to agree that yes, AEW has merit and should exist. I said that like crap. Christopher Daniels, the Fallen Angel, Jesus Christ. Petty feuds, just petty feuds. He does nothing but petty feuds, which is fine. Chuck Taylor, one of the funniest motherfuckers in all of wrestling. Oh my God. And I feel so bad that he might not be wrestling again. We all love Chuck Taylor. I love the Best Friends. I love all the stories they've done over the years. They're just solid storytellers. Nothing approaching the Hangman arc, but definitely Best Friends, solid story. How much fucking roster is there? I'm going to die. Is this a 2-part thing? Do I come back to this next week? Shit. I got to start going through this faster. Guys, I can't be here for 2 years doing this. Claudio Castagnoli. Where the fuck does Claudio go? Petty feud. Even what he's doing with Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston gets more out of that than Claudio. Claudio, it's just like a petty feud for him. It's something more for Eddie Kingston. Colt Cabana. I feel like Colt Cabana is Colt Cabana a good character? Is he actually a good character? You know what? God damn it. Are we being honest here or are we fucking around? I don't know, man. Is Brandon Cutler a better character than Colt Cabana? Colt Cabana is literally cosplaying as Brandon Cutler. Fuck, I think that tells you everything you need to know. D tier for Colt. All right, the other gun brother, he goes up with his brother. A tier. Absolutely. Danhausen. Good character, easy. He had a couple of petty feuds. He had a really good feud. I liked very evil Danhausen. Danhausen hasn't been given enough time to cook. No one remembers his petty feud. I can't even remember who his petty... All right, here's the thing. I know he had a petty feud. I literally cannot remember who it was with. The best character. He gets the top of the stack, but he's been given nothing. He's absolutely been given nothing. Daniel Garcia gets A tier for solid story. There's a lot going on with Daniel Garcia. He's done so much interesting character work in AEW for years now. To give him anything less than solid story would be an absolute fucking crime. Top flight petty feuds all the way. Solid stuff. Nothing wrong with it. Darby goddamn Allin. I just feel, look, good character, easy, right? Petty feuds, he's had them. Solid stories, a given. The debate is Darby Allin S tier? Has he had enough stuff? I really like the Pillar storyline. I don't know, man. He's towards the top of the A tier. I just don't really feel like we've had the Darby Allin story. The chat's kind of agreeing with me. I just really want to give him S tier, but he just hasn't done it yet. We haven't really seen the definitive big Darby Allin story. It was close with Sting, but it was more Sting's story. He was more of a side player. So I got to give Darby Allin A, although it kills me to give Darby Allin just an A. Perazio. Fucking Perazio. The feud really just felt like a petty feud between her and Toni Storm. It didn't really elevate. I think if anyone elevated, it would have been Toni Storm herself. Perazio was kind of a secondary player in her own story, which sounds really, really sad. Really sad. Diamante, God, she's had petty feuds. She's had some petty feuds. She's got no character though. She's like, I think, all right, look, to go into B tier, you have to at least qualify for C tier. All right, new rule, guys. To get into B tier, you have to at least qualify for C tier. I got to put Diamante down in no story. I'm sorry. Those are the rules. I don't make them. I just abide by them. Who the fuck is this? Wait, we have Bandito here. This isn't fucking Commander, is it? No. It should start with a D. They're alphabetical. Who the fuck is this? That's D. Dralistico? Is this fucking Dralistico? This is fucking Dralistico. I haven't seen Dralistico. I just like his name. I feel like, is having the best mask the best character when it comes to Lucha Libre? How does that work? If you literally have the coolest name and coolest mask, does that mean you have a good character in Lucha Libre terms? I just don't know. Look, he hasn't really done very much. I got to put him down in no story. I don't know. Coolest mask. Coolest luchador. By far. We'd love to see more of him. Dustin fucking Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes goes up to S tier. Here's my hottest take. This has got to be my hottest take of the whole fucking video right here, is that Dustin Rhodes is actually S tier. It's more than every single fucking time Dustin Rhodes comes out to have what seems to be a petty feud, that motherfucker elevates it up to S tier. He just does. I don't know what it is about Dustin Rhodes, but he's got such gravitas in him that he is involved in nothing but petty feuds, but he takes every petty feud and turns that shit up to 11. So I gotta give Dustin Rhodes S tier. Maybe it's just history talking. Maybe it's just the weight of his. I'll have to do a lot of editing in this shit. Now you see what I deal with when I make these videos every week? I edit out a lot of shit. Dustin's S tier. He's fucking S tier. Dutch from the Righteous? Dutch is a good character. I got to give Dutch from the Righteous a good character, but they don't even have feuds. But yo, Dutch straight up, great character. Eddie fucking Kingston. I got to give Eddie S tier, man. Eddie is just a fucking character. Like, Eddie and Dustin are like the same fucking thing. They're just so fucking grizzled and awesome that they just like get S tier no matter what the fuck they're doing. They just walk around with story. They just fucking walking, talking story. How the fuck can you say that AEW has no good story when you literally have Dustin Rhodes and Eddie Kingston just walking around being themselves? All right, Emi Sakura. What the fuck? She's a good character. I gotta say, look, if you would have asked me back in 2019, I probably would have said some backward shit about her, but like, she's a good character. She even has pretty good petty feuds. I gotta give it up for Emmy, dude. She's literally trained half the fucking female roster, so she's got all these weird little petty feuds all the time. I love her. I think she's fucking fantastic. Evil Uno, petty feud, baby, all the way. Griff Garrison. Look, I don't even feel like Griff is there yet. No story, man. No, like I said, you got to qualify as a good character before you can move up, and he just hasn't done it yet. Oh, goddamn. Oh, why don't I remember her name? She's on. I have to look her up. Hold on. I can get her name. I got this. She's on the show tonight. Arlie fucking Cameron. Good character. Goddamn hilarious. Petty feuds? She's got them. I want to give her solid story, but I'm going to put her up to the petty feud category. Well, is she even getting petty feuds? You know what? She's not even getting the petty feuds. She's just such a good goddamn character. She's a great character. I hope she gets some petty feuds. Harley Cameron. Absolutely awesome. Oh, shit. It's Shida. Hikaru Shida. Oh, fucking Hikaru Shida. She's kind of the queen of the petty feud, isn't she? She even do petty feuds? I honestly don't feel like Sheeta's been ever even mad at anybody. Has Sheeta literally ever been like even mad at anybody? She came for Athena, but I don't even feel like it was personal. She's a good character. I like her as a character. Does she really have? Wait. I like her as a wrestler. Man, Sheeta's fucking me up, guys. Hold up. Sheeta is like causing me to have like seizures or something. fuck, man. Sheeta's a wrestler, S tier. Sheeta story-wise, god damn it, she's fucking D tier on the story, and we all know it. We fucking love Sheeta. Sheeta's phenomenal. I gotta give her D tier. I'm sorry. It's just not there. Hook. Solid story for Hook. Hook's been doing really good work this year. I think he's really elevated himself. He's told a lot of cool stories. He's literally making Jericho interesting, which for a lot of people, that's hard to do. I'm one of those. I'm a little burnt out, but I'm really looking forward to what happens in the Hook Jericho thing. I got to give him solid story. He goes up. Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy. They're doing petty feuds right now. They're absolutely doing petty feuds right now. Them and Top Flight characters, absolutely doing some great petty feuds. Gonna put Mark Quinn up. I gotta put Mark Quinn just a little bit behind Isaiah. Isaiah does most of the talking. We got to get Mark Quinn out of his shell. Who the fuck is that? Is that Jack Perry? Yeah, that's Jack Perry, goddammit. That's bearded Jack Perry. Guys, and what might be my second hot take of the video, I got to put Jack Perry up here in S tier. I'm afraid I got to put Jack Perry up in S tier, guys, and you all know it's true. Just admit it. I got to dispute. The chat wants to dispute Sheeta. All right, chat, you have you have half a minute. You have 30 seconds to tell me why Sheeta would belong in C tier. I think I have a knock against Sheeta in the chat. Someone in the chat says, problem with Sheeta is that she leaves for long periods of time. Yep, she does leave for long periods of time. There was a bit of a story between her, Saraya, and Toni Storm. That is correct. However, she was really a secondary player in that. She literally had no character. She was like, why are you leaving me out, guys? Oh my God, guys, why are you guys just like acting like I'm not here? Why are you guys acting like I don't have a story? Because you don't, Sheeta. Look, I love Sheeta. I want to put her in S tier, but I can't because she has no fucking story. I'm not going to lie. Guys, I can't make shit up. I can be nice, but I can't make shit up. All right, chat, you've run out of time. We got to move on. If you took that long to explain why Sheeta has a story, then maybe she don't so much. Jake Hager, oh God. Jake Hager's probably no story, unfortunately. Good character. I love the hat thing. I love they're coming in now. Sheeta versus Nyla, Sheeta versus Deep. I'm telling you guys, she hasn't even managed a petty feud. I didn't feel any of those things. No emotion was conveyed to me about that. There were good matches. You're describing good matches. You're making all the guys that shit talk AEW right when they're like, it's just a bunch of good matches. Well, if you're describing Sheeta, yes, correct. If you're describing half of the roster, you'd be fucking dead wrong. But if you say Hikaru Shida has no story, and I kind of have to fucking agree with you. Jake Hager as well. Just nothing going on there. Jamie Hayter's really weird. Jamie Hayter is so weird. How the fuck can Jamie Hayter literally have no character, no story, yet be an S tier wrestler? And I don't understand it. I don't know what Jamie Hayter did to get as over as she is. But Jamie Hayter has no story, guys. She really doesn't. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Someone's making a case for Jake Hager trying to tell me he was in the inner circle. We know he was in the inner circle. He did nothing in the inner circle. He stood in the back. Standing in the back of a faction does not give you a story. It does not give you a character. It doesn't give you a petty feud. He didn't instigate. You got to be the instigator. You got to be the instigator to get this. Jay fucking Lethal, Ring of Honor, motherfucking legend. Jay Lethal has had S tier storylines, but not in AEW. Don't even think he's had petty feuds. I don't even think he really gets to do a lot of character work. Oh, God damn it. He's D tier. I hate to put Jay Lethal down in D tier. That breaks my heart. Look, this is the kind of D tier is where AEW gets a bad reputation, where they have great wrestlers like Jamie Hayter, Sheeta, and Jay Lethal, and then they don't have any real storylines on the show or any character on the show. That's where the bad reputation comes from. People forget about everything up here, all the cool shit going on. They don't want to talk about that, but Jamie Hayter, Jay Lethal, Sheeta. Usually injuries take them out of things and they don't get to finish the stories that they want to finish. There's reasons why they end up down here, but people fixate on this shit and they forget all the great shit that's gone on. Jay fucking White. Jay White. I got to put him up here with the Acclaimed. He was a part of the feud with the Acclaimed and the Bullet Club Gold. I don't think Jay White has done anything S tier in AEW yet. Will he? Definitely. Definitely Jay White is going to have an S tier storyline. I can't wait for it to happen. But right now he's A tier. Jeff Hardy in that petty feud territory. Yeah, he does petty feuds. Jeff Hardy definitely does petty feuds. Jeff Jarrett, I feel like that's like the same area. They just kind of do petty feuds together. They've earned it. They've done the good character thing. They have their characters baked in. And they've just been feuding since they've arrived. John Silver. John Silver's a good character. Just up here with the rest of the Dark Order. They just really define that B tier. John Moxley. If we go way back, John Moxley's S tier. I feel like recently John Moxley has just been hanging out in A tier and not elevating to S tier. He literally went out and won a belt from another company and he hasn't really been around a lot. At any moment, John Moxley can come back in and do an S-tier banger with anybody, but I feel like he just hangs out in that A tier. He's very comfortable in that A tier. He doesn't feel like he walks around with his story as much as Eddie Kingston. It feels weird not to put him next to Eddie Kingston, but like Eddie Kingston just so has this ongoing story that just like follows him around. Whereas Moxley, I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. Someone smarter than me would have to figure it out. Johnny TV. John Morrison, John TV, Johnny Nitro, whatever you want to call him. Petty feud, had a petty feud with Dalton Castle. It was a solid story. It was all on Dalton Castle's side, though. Johnny TV was just doing the petty feud side of it. There it is. My chat called it out. Wrestling is real for Eddie Kingston. That's the difference. Wrestling's real for John Moxley, but I don't know what's like realer for Eddie Kingston. There's something about it. When those guys pair up, it's S tier. Oh, shit. I can't remember this guy. What the fuck is his name? Josh? Is his name Josh? I feel like his name's Josh. He's with the Varsity Athletes. He's got no character. I'm sorry. There's nothing going on there. Our entire character lies with Mark Sterling. Josh Woods. Thank you, chat. I know most of these. I'm actually surprising with myself about how much of the goddamn roster I'm actually intimately familiar with. Juice fucking Robinson. Good character. Did not get a chance to really do much more than that. You know what? Petty feud, because I really like the way he called out Ricky Starks for not having friends. You ain't got no friends, Ricky. I'm never going to forget it. He made a very big impact in a very little time, even just with that petty feud. Julia Hart, we all know is S tier. We all know Julia. How the fuck does Julia Hart come into this company at this age and be one of the defining stories and characters that they've ever had? I don't fucking know. But there she is, and it's goddamn incredible. Okada is part of the New Elite storyline, which is goddamn phenomenal. I don't really know how... Okada feels like a side player in the whole thing, though. I got to put him over here with Bryan Danielson. He's just kind of in that best of the world category. Baked in story, Okada being here. I just solid A tier. Shibata. Some people criticize Shibata for being boring. He does great petty feuds. I got to put him in the petty feud category, but his petty feuds are really good. Really good. And usually culminate in really good matches. Keith Lee. Keith fucking Lee. He's been injured a lot. Or out. There's a really good story that hasn't been told there between him and Swerve, but it really hasn't been told. He's done a lot of feuds. I'm going to put Keith Lee down in petty feud. He's definitely a good character. I'm going to say he gets petty feud. He fucking Omega. Absolutely the goddamn GOAT. It's undeniable. Every time Kenny Omega speaks, it's an S tier arc. The gravitas on Kenny Omega is off the fucking chart. It's hard for Kenny Omega to not do a story that's S tier just by the sheer fact of who the fuck he is and how important he is to the company. Very difficult for him just to downgrade himself, really, and for us to minimize his impact on the landscape whenever the fuck he moves. Kira Hogan? No story. I'm sorry, Kira. I wish they give you more. Luchasaurus Kill Switch. Good character. Petty feud? Solid story? I think more needs to happen with Luchasaurus Kill Switch. I really feel like he's put on the back burner a lot for other things. I'm going to give him good character. I do feel he's a good character. I feel he's very interesting. We didn't really get that. He never really turned on Christian Cage. We're waiting for it. He's going to shoot up to A tier someday. Just hasn't yet. Oh, goddamn. I love Kip Sabian. I'm going to give him good character no matter what. He's had some good petty feuds. I'm going to give Chris Sabian the petty feud. B. He gets the petty feud. Commander. Wow. Just goes down here in no story. They push Commander so hard, and I don't know why. I wish they would give me a reason to really like Commander, but I haven't really seen it. He's just another one of these guys where if you want to point to AEW just having a bunch of matches and spot fests, if you talk about Commander, it's true, and that sucks because you're ignoring so much other shit, but fine, keep talking about Commander. Takeshita, the Alpha. I feel like Takeshita is in the solid story range. Absolutely. I think Takeshita's a very interesting character in All Elite Wrestling. He's been involved at the heel turn. I think up until his heel turn, I would have put him down into no story. But they gave Takeshita a lot of story. Hooking him up with Don Callis made him fucking crazy interesting. It did. Don Callis for the fucking win. Kota Ibushi. I don't even think he's not in the best of the world conversation anymore. He's like taking himself out of that conversation. He doesn't have petty feuds. He doesn't have character. He's not around. I'm sorry. Once again, he's another one of these guys. You'd be like, why'd they sign Kota Ibushi and not give him anything to do? I don't know. He doesn't wrestle a lot. What are you going to do, guys? Chris Statlander, good character. Yeah, if you would have asked me on another day, I would have been like, she's not a good character, but I think she's interesting enough. The gimmick isn't great. I preferred Alien Chris Statlander, but look, any Chris Statlander is good Chris Statlander. She does a good petty feud. Can't say we've really progressed past that, but we definitely do that. Goddamn Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher is right up there with Takeshita. Solid story. Absolutely. And I'm really impressed with Kyle Fletcher. Another young guy. Chat's telling me that Kota Ibushi's hurt badly. That just sucks. Just sucks. Another guy that was hurt badly but came back, Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly. He carries a lot of gravitas. A lot. Just so much going on with that guy. Is it just petty feuds, though? At the end of the day, isn't Kyle O'Reilly just like... I feel like Kyle O'Reilly and Shibata are very similar, where they just do really good petty feuds and then top them off with really good matches, which is nothing wrong with that. But that's kind of what it is. Lance Archer. I could be mean and I could say Lance Archer isn't a good character and doesn't have a story, but I think Lance Archer does have a good character. People like him, and people wouldn't like him unless he had something going for him. He hasn't really had any good feuds, but I'm going to say he's a good character. I'm going to give him that. Big Shotty. Big Shotty. Can't remember his actual name, but I know his nickname. It's Big Shotty. It's like Lee or something. I don't know, man. He almost has a good character. Whenever he comes out and he's got that song, his theme song's so cool. He's one of Cody's guys. Big Shotty Lee Johnson. I knew it was Lee. He's so close to a good character. He's like right on the cusp. He's going to break through one of these days, man. I'm excited about him. I'm rooting for Big Shotty. Who the fuck is... Oh, Tiger Style Lee Moriarty. You know what? You could learn a lot from Tiger Style Big Shotty, because Lee Moriarty literally has a good character. I'm going to fucking say it. I'm going to say it that Lee Moriarty has elevated himself just barely up to good character. He's been around for so long, rocking that weird little gimmick of his, that it's over with me, goddammit. It's over with me. I like his weird ass. I like him. I'm going to say he's a good character. Straight up, this woman does not wrestle. I don't know what she... Oh, she does. Wait, she's like on Ring of Honor and shit, right? Oh God, she hasn't wrestled in forever. Look, I'm going to put her up here in no story. I barely know who she is. I almost didn't think she was signed, but she is. She does exist. She's just barely used. She's really not around a lot. What the fuck is her name? Oh, this is killing me now. What's homegirl's name? I know her. Legit Layla Hirsch. Legit. I know all these goddamn wrestlers. I swear to God, that's legit Layla Hirsch. What have I pushed out of my brain to learn all of these names? What have I pushed out of my brain to know this shit? She's a good character. I'm going to fucking say it. Legit Layla Hirsch is a good character. I like her. She's just been doing it long enough that it's grown on me. Wait, does that mean Jamie Hayter's a good character? I don't know. Why am I putting Layla Hirsch above Jamie Hayter? I have to like question my whole life now. I'm going to move her up. Look, if I'm putting Lee Moriarty up here and Layla Hirsch, I don't want to take them down. I got to put them up. I got to put it up. Sheeta? I'm going to move Sheeta up too. I'm going to move Sheeta. You know what, chat? I won myself over. I'm putting her up in C. She's a good character. She's definitely a good character. All right, but I think Jay Lethal stays. I just don't feel the character coming off of him. It used to like exude from him in Ring of Honor, but it just hasn't been there in AEW. I know what Jay Lethal looks like when he is occupying his character very well, and it's just not happening in AEW for some reason. I don't know why. Brody King a good character? I'm gonna elevate Brody King too. I have to reassess my life choices. You know what? I really like Big Bill. I'm just thinking about their ring mannerisms. The reason why I put Tiger Style up here and legit Layla Hirsch up here is because I really like their ring mannerisms and the shit they do inside the ring. They are interesting in-ring storytellers. And so is Jamie Hayter, so is Hikaru Shida, so is Brody King, so is Big Bill. We're looking at in-ring storytelling, and it's very good with those guys. Very good. And there's probably more people down here in the D tier that also do that well, but I'm just going to hold off for now. All right, Luther is great, but he has no story. I think it's really great that people like him now, but he has no story. I could say he's a good, you know what? He's a good character, though. He is a good fucking character. He's elevated himself. He used to just have no story and everybody didn't like him. Now he's a good character. I feel good about that. Oh shit, this is that lady that got dropped on her head by Serena Deeb, right? Her name's escaping me. She's an old wrestler. She's been around for a while. I got to give her no story though. Barely utilized. She's like on the trainer side too. I don't think she does a lot of in-ring stuff. Malachi Black is a very interesting guy. I don't know if he quite he's like, I'm going to put him in the solid story area. He exudes a lot of story. He hasn't done anything. There you go. My chat helped me out on her. That's Madison Rain down there. We still don't know the one next to her, but that's Madison Rain. Should be Mariah May. Mariah fucking May. She's doing great work with Toni Storm. I'm going to give her solid story. I'm actually really excited about Mariah May. She started off the year not being that exciting, but she's ending it very, very strong. Marina Shafir. We got to say no story down there. I'm sorry, Marina. I hope when she comes back, they give her something good. Holy shit. Mark Briscoe. You got to give him S tier. Just out of respect, man. You got to give him S tier. Mark Briscoe, he's just like Eddie Kingston, dude. Just walking around, just bringing that story wherever he goes. He is the story. Who the fuck is that? Starts with an M. I got Mark Sterling. Look, Mark Sterling's a good character. I got to give it up for him. Mark Sterling actually does petty feuds pretty well as well. I might even put Mark Sterling up here in the petty feud area. Yo, for a manager, he pulls weight. He pulls serious weight. Oh, we got the Young Bucks. Young Bucks, guys, I don't care, dude. Young Bucks are S tier. Young Bucks, absolutely fucking S tier in this company. Young Bucks, you cannot fucking deny that they're S tier. All the shit they're involved in is fucking classic. Dude, Money, are you serious? Y'all show up late to my stream and then criticize me? Are you serious right now? It's a fucking huge roster. Absolutely had to call those YouTubers jobbers because that's what the community calls them. But look, I'm in the middle of doing this intense tier list right now. I'm actually sneezing a lot. I don't know. Maybe I should finish this up next week. You guys have derailed me. But I have more viewers now than ever. Now I'm torn, guys. Look, I got 15 minutes to get through this. Can I get through this in 15 minutes? I don't know. It's like speed round. Daddy Magic's a good character. Matt Seidel. Oh, God. He has good character. Does that count? He has good character. That's something, right? Matt fucking Taven. He is I and I am him, and he is Matt Taven. I really like Matt Taven. They've been doing petty feuds. He's been doing petty feuds. He does them really well. Caster, he goes up here with the rest of the Acclaimed. Where's my Acclaimed at? Where the fuck is my Acclaimed? All right, there's my Acclaimed. He goes up there. Absolutely. I should have tagged more of those up. This is... Oh, it's not. It's Diamante's friend, right? She's a good character. I like her. Mercedes Monet. Mercedes Monet. We're going to put her in petty feud right now. She's literally just kicking things off with the petty feud. Thank you, Martinez down here. That was skipping me, man. I was not getting that. Michael Nakazawa. Look, good character. Hasn't been around a lot. I can't believe he's actually still on the roster. Mike Bennett. Some good petty feuds with Matt Taven. Miro. Is he a good character? Look, if I put Jay Lethal down here and I put Miro up here, something's wrong. Dude, I don't know, man. Miro is sometimes a good character and sometimes not. Does that count? I don't know. I got to put him down here. There's no story. Is this Nick Wayne's mom? Nick Wayne's mom is here? We have Nick Wayne's mom here. Dude, she's goated. Fucking A. Nick Wayne's mom. Dude, I pop literally anytime Nick Wayne's mom does anything. She's fucking amazing in AEW. S tier. I won't hear of it. S tier. S tier. Nick Wayne? D tier. Look, Nick Wayne, you're all about your mom. Nah, look. I'm being fucked up. I think Nick Wayne is doing solid story. I know that Christian Cage is doing the bulk of that, but Nick Wayne's doing good too. I got to give Nick Wayne credit for coming in and being as good as he is. I'm going to give him a solid story. But Nick Wayne's mom, definitely pulling that weight. Is that Camarado? I think this is fucking Camarado. You know what? I would have said yesterday he's D tier, but he just did a really interesting promo on Ring of Honor. I got to say, I like Camarado. I got to give him. So Rose is excellent with petty feuds. I got to give Nyla Rose petty feud. Orange Cassidy. Solid story. I don't feel like we're S tier on Orange Cassidy just yet, but I definitely feel like we're solid story on him. The same thing with Darby Allin. They just really haven't hit it off yet. We got Ortiz. Shit. I got to give Ortiz no story. I hate to do it, but I got to. Pac. He's our bastard. Just rocking those petty feuds. We have a lot of people in AEW just doing petty feuds. And guys, this counts as story. This fucking counts as a story. I'm sorry. A lot of people want to say like, this isn't story, but it is. It is. All these guys, when they do their petty feuds, it is a story. It's a basic story, but it's still a story. The Big Show is not a wrestler. Oh, God, he steps in from time to time. Look, no story for him. Pentagon, just rocking those feuds, just doing the feuds. And where's Ray Phoenix? I don't even know if I see Ray Phoenix on here. How the hell do we not have Ray Phoenix? How is Pentagon on? Oh, there he is. I feel like I feel like Ray Phoenix does not have the feuds. I feel it more from, it feels weird. I'm going to put them together. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm running out of time. All right. This video is already way too long. So I'm running out of time. What's weird is the more I run out of time, the more people show up to the stream. And now I'm confused. All right. Powerhouse Hobbs. I like his petty feuds. I actually think that they don't short Powerhouse Hobbs as much as people think they do. I think people don't give a lot of credit to the storylines that have happened with Powerhouse Hobbs over the years. I believe he's done a lot of good, solid petty feuds. Preston Vance. I don't think there's a lot going on there. Prince Nana. I'm going to say good character. Good character for Prince Nana. Samoa Joe. I feel like Samoa Joe is at the top of the petty. Like right up here with Kyle O'Reilly and Shibata. Maybe I'll catch shit for saying that. But That's where I feel Samoa Joe is. That's just where I feel that he is. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's where I'm doing it. Oh, Red Velvet. That's what she's actually calls herself, Red Velvet. I got to give her no. I'm sorry. There's no story behind Red Velvet. Queen Aminata. Actually a good character. You know what? I got to put Queen Aminata up here in Petty Feud because she's actually crushing Petty Feuds. Not only is she a good character, but she's worked a couple of good storylines. Actually, respect on Queen Aminata's name. Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa has never really put the story out there. She's the female equivalent of the Kyle O'Reilly, Shibata, Samoa Joe thing. Just really good with petty feuds, which there's nothing wrong with being good. I'm saying I'm defending that way too much, but there's nothing wrong with it. Fucking Swerve, S tier. Basically, Swerve got up to being champion by being so goddamn good at telling stories so quickly. The way that Swerve's able to tell a story so well and so quickly in the small amount of time that he has been given is his fucking skill. He is goddamn phenomenal at telling a very fast story. AEW is like, oh, you got a little bit of time on this episode of Dynamite. What do you want to do? Swerve Strickland's, I'm just going to do one of the greatest stories that's ever been told in AEW. No biggie. All right, Sanjay Dutt. I'm going to give him good character. Look, I think he is a good character. He's annoying, but that's like the whole point. All right, Saraya. I got to give her solid story, actually. Saraya has done a lot of interesting storytelling from the day that she has joined AEW. People are not giving her enough credit. People diss on Saraya all the fucking time. It's unwarranted. She has absolutely got some of the better AEW storylines under her belt from the time that she's joined AEW. She's done a great fucking job for the company. Stokely Hathaway is so fucking good. So fucking good. I got to give Stokely Hathaway an A tier as well. I think that his storytelling is fucking bar none. That guy fucking, once again, you give him a very little amount of time and he hands you fucking diamonds. It's crazy how fast that man cooks. That man cooks faster than he has any right to. I believe we're going to put Trent up here with Chuck. Trent should just go with Chuck. Trent and Chuck, best friends, they go together. Timeless Tony Storm, S tier, and he's fucking S tier, came out of fucking nowhere and just burnt the house down. Insane how good that story is, and then most of it's in her head. How fucking crazy is that? We got Vincent from The Righteous. I think that we're just there. Good characters. I like him. I'd like to see more. Ospreay, he's in that Best of the World storyline, right? He hasn't had enough time to work his way into S tier, but he's going to be there in like 2 seconds. Just wait. Ospreay's going to get involved in some shit, and he's going to be S tier as hell. Butcher and the Blade, I think they exist in the good character realm. They don't even really have feuds, but they just kind of exist in that good character realm. Let's see. Maybe I can just move a few more people up into good character realm. I think Yuta has earned good character. He's been injured. He's been out a lot. But yeah, good character. Yuka Sakazawa, fucking good character. Willow Nightingale, good character. She's trying to get up into that nice petty feud area, but I'm just not feeling it. I think she's a good character, though. Wardlow. I got to give Wardlow. Guys, once again, here's another guy that gets shit on a lot. Wardlow gets crapped on often. And usually when people are crapping on Wardlow, they're crapping on AEW. They're not crapping directly on Wardlow. But they're forgetting all of the great story work that Wardlow has done. And he's done it. He's been over twice. He has been down at the bottom and he's rise to the top twice. It's very fucking hard to do. I think he tells solid stories. I think it's more than petty feuds. It's right on the bottom of the solid story tier. I'm not saying he's Will Ospreay and about to break through into S tier. I'm just saying he's done enough work over the years that he's A tier. The shit he does, the stories that he tells. Just think about his dynamic with MJF. His dynamic, his part in the Devil storyline was like literally the most interesting part than maybe Adam Cole himself. But I don't know. I feel like Wardlow's more interesting. Wardlow's the most interesting member of the kingdom, believe it or fucking not. Just think about it. We got the Premier Athlete. You know what? I do like his character work. I'm going to give him a solid character. I think Serena Deeb. I like Serena Deeb's feuds. She does good feud work. I gotta give her. Serpentico. Good character. The guy under the mask is great too. I don't know who the fuck this is. He's like holding something over his face. You are making very difficult for me, sir. Is that the other? I think this is the other embassy guy. Because he's got the tattoos and shit. So I think this is the other embassy guy. I'm going to put him down here. Stop covering your face in your fucking picture, man. Tay Mello. Her feud was good, but it wasn't on TV. If you watched AEW All Access, her feud with Ruby was fucking great, but I don't know. I'm just going to put her down. No story. She's been out most of the year. When she comes back, we'll move her back up. Taya Valkyrie. I liked what she did with Jade Cargill. I'm going to give her petty feud. And she did really good with Dalton Castle. Her and Dalton Castle were phenomenal. Where the fuck is... They didn't put Dalton Castle on this tier list? You sons of bitches. He would have been S tier. If Dalton Castle was here, he would have been S tier. It's a crime. All right, Sky Blue. I'm going to give her good character. I can't give her more than that yet, but I got to give her good character. I'm tempted to give her petty feud. Her and Willow try. You know what? I'm doing it. I'm moving because Willow and Sky Blue had that amazing fucking hardcore match on Rampage that no one probably saw, but was really fucking good. That was a good petty feud. Those two earned it. With the spots they did in that match, absolutely, they fucking earned it. Penelope Ford, I'm going to move her down here. Just hasn't been around a lot. Move him down here. You know what? If I can't tell who the fuck you are by your profile picture, maybe you belong down in no story. I'm just saying. Bruce is cool. I think he is a good character. I'm going to move him up there. Scorpio Sky. Wow. I don't want to talk shit about Scorpio Sky. I think he might fuck me up. He never really got to do his feuds. He keeps cooking them, but they never happen. I don't know, man. Look, I just got to give him, I'm going to give him no story for now. But like I said, he hasn't been around a lot. What am I going to do? What the fuck am I going to do? Tall guy. I can't remember his name. The big fucking tall guy. I got to give him no story. He hasn't been doing very much. Sammy Guevara. Pillar Sammy Guevara. I got to give Sammy a solid story. I think Sammy carries a lot of inherent story around with him. I think that's a good thing. Of course, I know who Ricky Starks is, guys. I know who Ricky Starks is. I think Ricky Starks, solid story. I got to give him credit for the CM Punk story. I thought he did great in that. That was a really cool feud. It almost had me giving a fuck about Ricky Starks, so I think that says a lot. He definitely put in the work. I think this is that girl that used to hang around with Britt Baker. Rebel, nothing going on with her. Riho's a good character. I'm going to stand on Riho being a good character. Almost got it. We're almost there. Ruby, like I said, she got pregnant. She literally got pregnant for her storyline. I got to put her up here with Angelo Parker. That's some fucking goated shit right there. Good for you, Ruby. Way to go all the way with that kayfabe. And then we got Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong is actually really good. He was kind of underrated in that Devil storyline. He carried the last half of it. I'm going to put Roderick Strong up. I don't know, man. That feels like I'm just like putting him up there just because I like Neck Strong so much. I like him wheeling around that wheelchair and yelling people's names so fucking much. I just want to put him up in S tier. Is that fucking wrong? Maybe I should put him down in A tier. Maybe I should calm the fuck down and just put him down. Where did I put down the... All right, look. I got to dump him down. I'm sorry. I got to dump him down here with the rest of the kingdom. I got to put him down with the kingdom. I wanted to put him up in S tier. I got to move him down to petty feud. It's really all he's doing is petty feud. He's just doing him so goddamn good. Actually, I'm going to move him up to Kyle O'Reilly level, though. I got to move him up to the top of B tier because he's doing so fucking good with it. I'm torn. My feelings are torn. I don't know who the blonde lady is down here. I swear to God, I know every person in AEW except for these three people. I do not know who they are. All right, here's the deal, guys. Go down in the comments and tell me who the fuck these three people are, and I'll rank them next week. But that's it. That's my ranking right now. Feel free to bitch about it down in the comments or argue with me or whatever you want to do or cry or I don't really give a shit. But what I'm trying to display to you here is that there's a lot of storytelling in AEW. We are definitely far from there being no story. And in fact, at least half the roster, from what I am assessing, has had solid story. And yes, there is a portion that just does this petty feud shit, but there's very little of the roster that has no story at all, or is just a bunch of good characters that aren't really involved in much. It's such a big roster that it's hard for everyone to find a place to go. All right, I'm being told that this is Paige Van Zant in the middle. I don't remember her doing anything at all. So she's got to go down there. I still don't know who these two guys are. We'll figure it out. Keep digging.
He is I and I am him, and I'm the undisputed Trent Nat Taven. And this dork behind the camera, some Melvin told me to say, grave diggers keep on digging. Whatever that means.
I am AEW wrestler and Ring of Honor Tag Champ Mike Bennett. And remember, grave diggers keep digging, but not the monster truck. Even though my son really likes that monster truck, I kind of like Son of a Digger and Zombie. I'm going off on a tangent about monster trucks because my son really loves monster truck, but we're talking about the YouTube channel. So make sure, grave diggers, keep on digging, baby.
So this is Mark doing one half private party, saying what up to the grave diggers and doing your thing, bro.
Alright, like, subscribe, and watch another video, or be cursed. If you're cursed, that means the grave diggers will keep digging your graves. So, you probably want to do it.